Hey guys, it's Kai, and I have a new whiteboard. As you can see, I'm trying to figure out a way to make this work. I'm gonna take off my glasses, don't worry. I always start the video with my glasses on just because I'm like, I have very bad sight. Like, it's getting really bad and fairly pathetic, but I'm just gonna apologize now. First off, my hair looks like crap. I need a haircut. Second off, I'm trying to figure out what a good angle is. Like, I'm trying to have the whiteboard, like, up in frame, but, like, it's not, like, evenly in frame, and it's kind of going to kill me. And, yeah, this video just might be a little bit of a mess, like, aesthetically, but I'm trying my best. This is gonna be interesting. I'm gonna be, like, writing on the whiteboard without my glasses on, and I really can't see without my glasses on, so we'll see if anything that I write makes sense. I also, like, don't know where to be. I'm, like, kneeling on my bed, so this is, like I said, it's a mess. So today I'm going to be talking about the times that I passed out, and the recent time that I almost passed out, and why. And it's interesting, because I have two diagnoses, because they don't know which was what. So, yeah, I have one or the other. There's going to be, let's see, there's 3 times I actually passed out. There's a few times that I got close, but I'm only going to talk about the recent time that I almost passed out just because it's fresh and it's interesting. And I really, like, I 99.9999% thought I was going to pass out. Okay. Time number 1, my aunt's house. This was the first time I ever passed out. I was very, very young. I do not remember how young, but it was a whole mess. So basically, I had slept over at my aunt's house, woke up, was not feeling great. I don't really remember what was wrong, but I think I was feeling nauseous, and I just overall just was not feeling it. And so I didn't want to eat that morning because, like, it was like me and a bunch of family all over my aunt's house, and they had a big breakfast, and I was like, I do not want any of it. But my dad did not care. When I grew up, I was always like, oh, I'm sick, oh, my head hurts, oh, this, oh, that. Like, I was always like that one kid that's, like, always dramatic and having an issue. So my dad did not care. He was like, you were going to eat breakfast, because, I don't know, because he needed to eat breakfast, and he just didn't care that I didn't feel good. So, yeah, so I ate, and I remember walking down the hallway to go to the bathroom, and if you're squeamish, do not listen. Do not click off this video. Do not watch this, because I threw up. But not yet. So I'm walking down the hallway, right, to go to the bathroom, and I'm assuming, because this was a long time ago, I'm assuming I was going to the bathroom to throw up. But I got halfway down the hallway, and literally everything was spinning. Oh my god. I've never been this dizzy before in my entire life. I had no freaking idea what was going on. But just imagine, like, the most intense dizziness you've ever experienced. Like you spun around in circles until you got dizzy, but, like, times 1,000. And I just remember being in the hallway and, like, looking around, like, what the hell is going on? Like, why is everything spinning? Because I didn't understand what was going on. And then blackness. I passed out. And then I woke up, and my dad was, like, over me. And obviously he's just like, what's going on? Are you okay? And then I threw up on myself and on the floor. And it was not great. It was like the moment I woke up, I was puking. And then after that, it's kind of hazy. Like, eventually they took me to hospital, I know that. I don't think they took me, like, right away. They kind of, like, let me get everything out of my system, if you know what I mean. And then they took me to the hospital. And then they were like, your kid's dehydrated. And then that was the end of that. So that was the first time I passed out. Also, I'm going to apologize if my storytelling skills are not great. Every time I try to film a story time, it sucks. So if this sucks, I'm sorry. I'm trying my best. Time number 2. Dick's Sporting Goods. Yes, I passed out in Dick's Sporting Goods. So yeah. Time number 2. Dick's Sporting Goods. Dick's Sporting Goods. So I was really dehydrated. We were walking around with Sporting Goods. I was not feeling good. My mom was trying to make me drink water. I was not having none of it. I hate drinking water. I drink a lot more water now, like, because I actually try and I'm older and I'm more mature and I'm actually like, okay, like, health is a thing that maybe I want to keep up with and keep it good. I don't know. But yeah, I was having none of it and I was not drinking water and I was very dehydrated and not feeling great. But we got to the checkout line just fine. We were checking out. And I remember watching a TV that was like at the end of the checkout lines and everything started going fizzy. So it was not like the first time I passed out. I know I'm like really like not in the middle of the frame, so this is probably very annoying, but it was not like the first time I had passed out. But it felt the same. Like I knew what was happening when it started happening. But basically my vision started turning like TV fizz, if that makes any sense. I hope you get what I mean. I don't know how else to explain it. But everything started going fizzy. And it was like just a little bit at first, but then it started getting thicker and thicker until I couldn't see anything. And I literally said, this is the only time that I was going to pass out. And I actually said the words, I'm going to pass out. But I literally said out loud, I'm going to pass out. And the last thing I heard before I passed out was my dad say, no, you're not. And then I passed out. So I just want to put a disclaimer, like, I'm not mad at my dad for saying that. I don't blame him for saying that. I was a little shit growing up. I was always like, oh, I'm sick. Oh, something's wrong. Ugh. Like, so I can understand where he was coming from when he was like, no, you're not. He probably just thought that I was like, oh, woe is me. I'm passing out again. Because that was like a month or two after the first time. So no hate to my dad. No shade. I completely understand why he's saying that. He probably thought that I was just having a moment where I'm like, oh my god, give me attention, I'm gonna pass out. But I was actually gonna pass out. And I woke up over his shoulder because he had taken me outside, because the first time I passed out, I woke up and threw up. So he was taking me outside to the trash can because he was like, oh crap, this kid is going to be real sick when he wakes up. Basically, that time we went straight to the hospital. And they gave me the same diagnosis of, your kid's dehydrated. I'm also pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, that this time, that time that I went to the hospital after the Dick's Sporting Goods incident, and they were trying to like figure out why I passed out, my dad also passed out in the room because they were trying to give me an IV to like give me fluids because I was dehydrated, apparently. I feel like that's what I just said. But I was dehydrated and they were trying to give me an IV and I was screaming and crying because they couldn't get it in me for some reason. And my dad passed out because I was screaming and crying, and he had ripped his nose open on the hospital bed, and then he had to get put in a different hospital room and get stitches. So it was a number 2 Dick's Sporting Goods bad day. So for All Time Low, I went to the concert with my brother, and my brother had, like, he knew that I had a pass to passing out, and I went to a concert before All Time Low with him where I almost passed out, so he was kind of, like, prepared, kind of ready, like, he knew what could happen and what was going to happen. So it was during the openers, like, we didn't even get through the opening bands, and I already kind of started feeling not great, and I just looked at him and I said, I don't feel so good, and he said, already, and then I passed out. So yeah, that's what happened. So this time I don't even remember my vision going weird or anything like that. Like, I just had a feeling that I was gonna pass out, and I said I didn't feel good, and then I passed out. It was pretty simple, pretty fast, and what my brother did was he dragged me out of the crowd, and he dragged me onto the grass, because this was like an outdoor kind of thing, and I just sat on the grass, drank some water, like, tried to recoup, and I'm pretty sure I stayed outside of the crowd for the rest of the concert. I don't really remember, but pretty straightforward at the All Time Low concert, okay? So yeah, these are all the times I actually passed out. And then, so I just put doctors for this one because I don't really I don't want to throw shade at the place that this happened at because it's not their fault that I'm like this. We'll get into my diagnoses later. But yeah, it's not their fault that this happened. But I was getting blood to check out my levels, my plasma levels, my testosterone levels, like all that good stuff. And it did not go well. So basically, the lady was trying to get my blood and she was having a really hard time. I don't think I was hydrated at all when this happened, so it was probably like my fault. But it got me in this arm, my left arm, and she couldn't get anything out. She was also using a fat needle. Like, that needle hurt and it looked very intimidating. And then she got me in this arm and she got like 1 vial out of 3 of blood, and then she got a little bit of the second one, and then I was just like, I don't feel good, and my vision kind of started going out, and I kind of started getting that like fizziness, like that blackness that I had before, and I just started to feel kind of like lightheaded. Like, it was almost like a gradual feeling, like it felt like I was gradually just slowly drifting away, like I was just gonna drift out of consciousness and fall asleep. Which usually when I do wake up, I usually feel like I'm waking up out of sleep, if you're curious. But yeah, I felt like I was just gonna drift out and like drift out of consciousness. And when I said I didn't feel good, she took it right out. She was like, okay, I'm taking it out. And she took it out and she was like fanning me. She gave me like sugar water. Like, she really took care of me. Like, I don't, like, no shade to her because, you know, she didn't really get the blood to come out of me, but like I was also dehydrated, and like she still did take like really good care of me after, like when I was gonna pass out. She was like fanning me with her clipboard, giving me sugar water, giving me like whatever I needed, you know, made sure I was doing all right. And then I requested to get the rest of the blood work done somewhere else, because I was like, if I get any more needles put in my body, I'm probably gonna actually pass out, and I don't want to do that, because I sit here and I think I'm a bad bitch, right? I think I passed out 3 times before. It's not that bad. It's not that bad, but it's like, I think like, ooh, if I passed out, I wouldn't care. I would just go out and I'd wake up and I'd be like, I'm fine. Everything's fine. I'm so tough. I'm so strong. I'm so bad. I'm so whatever the hell. But when I was gonna go out in that chair, I was not okay. Like, I was really just like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go out. I do not want to lose my consciousness. I do not want to do this. So I think I'm bad until I'm about to pass out, and then I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this. I do not want to go out. So I was like, could I get this done where I live? I live close to 2 different places where I know I can get my blood taken, and like, I would just rather do this a different day when I'm not about to pass out. So yeah, she printed them out for me, and I got them done the other day, and that's why this is here. It went a lot better than that time. I was having trouble seeing for a little bit after this, but I felt good enough to get up and walk around, even though I was having trouble seeing. Like, it wasn't like when I'm about to pass out and everything's fizzy. It was just kind of like my vision was a little bit distorted and whatever, but I was like, I'm fine. I walked out of there. I was like, I'm fine, I'm good. I bought my next box of testosterone, and I'm like, I'm good. Bye, have a great day, whatever. Walked out of there. So basically, after I almost passed out, I had thrown up once, and then I didn't feel sick again until I was on my way home in the car, and I started throwing up, and I was throwing up for 2 hours, not constantly, but periodically, and it was really bad. It was probably like one of the most uncomfortable times in my life, and I've never had this happen after I almost passed out. So that's why I brought this up, because it was probably one of the worst times, just considering how sick I got afterwards. You're probably wondering, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, why do you pass out? Like, you passed out 3 times, and then you almost passed out recently, so like, why? Are you okay? Are you just dehydrated Were you just dehydrated every time? Because the first 2 times I went to hospital, and they were like, you're dehydrated. So you're probably thinking, well, you're probably just dehydrated. But eventually, I decided to So for the first 2 times I had been dehydrated, I had been diagnosed with syncope or whatever, which is just being dehydrated. So they're like, you're just dehydrated, just drink some water and you won't pass out and you'll be fine and whatever, and move on with your life. But eventually I decided to go to some specialists. I went to a cardiologist, I went to a neurologist, I think I might have went to something else, but I don't really remember. But they checked me out, and they basically said I either have vasovagal syndrome or I have POTS syndrome. POTS syndrome does not have to do with marijuana, okay? I just get annoyed because so many people are like, does that mean you smoke pot? Does that mean you have to like smoke to be better? Like, what? Like, and I'm like, it has nothing to do with that. Just because it's called POTS syndrome, it does not mean it has to do with marijuana. I have nothing against marijuana. It's just so annoying to people being like, oh my god, you smoke pot? Does that mean you have POTS syndrome? Like, I don't know. I don't know why it annoys me so much. It just does. Vasovagal. A sudden drop in heart rate and blood pressure, leading to fainting, often in reaction to a stressful trigger. Common triggers include strain, stress, long periods of standing. Probably why I passed out at the one concert and almost passed out at another concert. The other concert I almost passed out at was Sleeping in Science Pierce the Veil. That was also my emo phase. So yeah, I almost passed out at that one, but I did not, because my brother dragged me out of the crowd, and I sat down, and I did not pass out. And then heat exposure or the sight of blood, which is interesting, because I did almost pass out getting my blood recently, which was the last one we talked about. And in the past, I also had a different problem. But it's not like I don't look at the blood. Like this one, I did look the first time she put in the needle. So like I did see it, but then as soon as it touched my arm, I looked away because I was like, okay, I really should not be watching this. So I don't like watch the blood going into the tube. Like that's not why I pass out. I think it's just the stress of it all that triggers me. Okay, POTS syndrome or postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. I think I said it right. I don't know. Symptoms related to the reduced blood volume that occurs when standing up. So yeah, so what I knew of POTS syndrome is that like the blood kind of stays in your feet and it has a hard time getting pumped back up to your head. So you don't have enough like blood going through your brain and like oxygen, and then you pass out. This syndrome is usually triggered when a person stands up after lying down. It most commonly affects women between the ages of 15 and 50, which does not help me at all. So yeah, symptoms related to the reduced blood volume that occurs when standing up. So I guess that's like what I said, like your blood doesn't get like pumped properly. Symptoms include lightheadedness, fainting, and rapid heartbeat, which are relieved by laying down again. So what's interesting is one of my cousins actually has POTS syndrome. So before I was like, oh, like I probably have POTS syndrome because my cousin has it and like we're related. I don't even know if POTS syndrome is genetic. So that whole like theory I had might be like completely like not plausible at all. So in this part of the video, I'm basically just saying that I used to think I had POTS syndrome, and I used to be really dramatic about it, but at this point, I think I just have vasovagal, and I was told I was going to grow out of it, but because of this recent episode where I almost passed out, I don't know anymore. I hope you guys enjoyed my stories. I hope you guys enjoyed the incorporation of the whiteboard. I feel like they kind of help make it a little bit funnier, make it a little bit more like interactive. I'm not just sitting here and looking at you guys and talking and droning on and being boring. I'm actually like doing stuff with myself and the surroundings. I just thought it would make it more interesting and funny, and I hope it did. And if it didn't, then I'm gonna edit this and hate myself. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the whole whiteboard thing and like interacting with it and having my list. And I tried to be like, I don't know, I feel like I was a little bit more myself, a little bit more comfortable in this video. So hopefully it was good and it was funny and whatever. And I'm gonna shut up and go because my outros are always long as hell. And I'm trying to make my videos a little less long because they're always like 11 minutes long. That's Jesus Christ, so much just like flung this cup across the room. I'm gonna go. I'll see you guys in the next one.